All right, I got Jamarius here today, and we're gonna be doing a haircut beard trim. As far as the hair, what can I do for you today? What do you want to do?
I had to bring my guy's favorite artist.
Oh man.
So we're gonna go with the Drizzy Drake today.
All right. He's lying. He's lying. I hate Drake. We'll be doing just like a mid to high skin fade on Jamarius today, and then as far as the top, I know you like to bring it pretty low just to kind of blend in like your corners and stuff like that, just to make them look a little bit more dense. And then we typically do like, I would say we give him like a crispy edge up, but it's still on the natural side where it's not going to be anything too far pushed back. He really doesn't like the, you know, too dramatic of an edge up, but still very clean. And then we kind of keep his corners dark right here. And then as far as the beard, what do you want to do today? I know we took it down a bit last time.
Let's do I guess let's start off with the same thing, and then maybe just
taper it down a bit from there.
All
right, cool. And then we'll get started. Let's do it. So Jamarius was driving to San Antonio to go get his haircuts regularly at one point, all the way from Austin. Which I was like, I understand. I've done some outrageous things for some haircuts before too. I used to go to two different people. I used to go to a buddy of mine that cut my hair for a long time, but he was kind of just equipped and just like doing fades. Like he didn't really know too much about, you know, cutting the top and stuff like that. Like he could give me little trims here and there, but as far as like connecting certain things and like blends that came with like longer hair on top, he would strictly give me a fade. So I go see him for a fade, and then I go to a stylist to do the top of my hair. So I was spending like 2.5 hours out of my day to go to two different places to get my hair done. And I remember it became like a super like inconvenience at one point, just because like I enjoyed like, you know, seeing those people, but like I had to find somebody that could do the job both ways. And then that's how I met Francisco over there, and he started doing both services for me. And then we've been together ever since. How'd you find out about the guy in San Antonio?
Man, church.
Oh, wow.
I asked a couple of guys at church who had some fresh cuts. And I was like, man, where do you guys go to get these cuts? Because I'm getting butchered out here. At one point, I was driving, because I moved from Houston, I was going to Houston every week, like every 2 weeks.
Oh, man.
And just getting the cut. But the barber ended up quitting. And I was like, damn, back to square one. Yeah. So just asked around like non-stop, like, hey, where you get your cut from? You know, they'll tell me, oh, Pflugerville. And I'm like, yeah, can't go to that spot again. And somebody just said, oh, San Antonio got some good barbers. So since then, I've been, 6 years I've been going to San Antonio to get cuts.
Wow, yeah, so you were definitely loyal to that then.
I was deep in, man.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. I definitely get it. Like I said, I kind of did almost the same thing, and there was a couple barbers I would go see like in the Buda and Kyle area at one point as well, when I couldn't get in with my one homie. So yeah, sometimes you got to travel for a good haircut. But I'm glad we found each other, and I'm glad you're coming here now. And I'm sure it's a bit easier on your gas tank, that's for sure.
Oh man, so much easier.
And so what do you do for work? Explain to us what it is you do.
Right now I'm working in tolling. So I work supply chain, so basically I'm just ordering all the material that we need to maintain the roads and building relationships with vendors, and you know, just trying to save a little money here or there, but you know, making people pay to ride the roads, basically.
Man, I owe y'all some money, that's for sure.
Man, you and me both.
I'm always one of those people that's like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna, because I have my tattoo artist actually lives out in Lockhart, and that's where his shop's located as well. So I would drive out there to go, you know, get some work done from him when I'd have appointments. And I'd be one of those that's like, all right, I'm gonna take the toll just to get there a little faster, have some extra time on my hands and stuff like that, and go through the toll, and I don't have a tag, so you know, I would do pay by mail, and then I would just forget about it for like 6 months, and then they're like, yeah, you owe us $400 for that trip to Lockhart that you took.
Same here.
But they always negotiate. I'll say they always do end up giving you good deals at the end.
Oh, they do?
Yeah. Yeah, I've negotiated with them and talked down like $400 all the way to like $60 before. So,
Oh shit.
yeah, I think that's just what they want. They just want a little bit of interest. They just try and scare you with that 400. They're like, maybe they'll respond when they see this bill.
So now I gotta check my bill and see. Even though I work for them, we don't get any discounts. So it's like, thanks for the service, but
yeah,
you still gotta pay like everybody else. So.
Yeah, y'all definitely gotta work out something. You should have some kind of perks if you're an employee for them. They should just give y'all tags for free, honestly.
They should.
That's crazy that they don't. I hope Beardbrand would give us tags for free if we came to driving.
Oh man.
You got any plans for Halloween? Today is the 31st.
No, I'll be packing. I have a Toronto trip tomorrow, so I have to make sure I come and check in with my guy, get me right, since I'll be gone for a while.
How long are you gonna be gone for?
From the 1st to the 15th.
Oh, so about a good 2 weeks.
About a good it's good 2 weeks.
That's why you wanted the drink.
Just gotta make it last.
Gotta make it last, you know? Come on.
Yeah, because we were doing a taper when I first met him, and you know, those are always good. Because I say like tapers last long, just because like it always stays like a little bit more on the natural side as far as like around the ears and stuff. So I feel like that grows in a little better. But as far as like keeping it short on the sides, like I feel like a skin fade is always, you know, right too. I wouldn't go any longer than 2 weeks like after getting the skin fade, because that's when it starts to kind of grow back and you don't really, you know, it all starts to look one length on the side once that blend starts coming back in. But yeah, this should hold them over for 2 weeks. And then I always like to just taper in my beard line, just this part typically. I don't know why, there's no specific reason or rule to it, you don't have to. I just do it. I kind of try and save myself some time since I already have my clipper with no guard on it. I might as well blend in the things that are gonna, you know, be used for this particular no guard that I have on right now, so I can kind of knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. But I'm still gonna put that open line into his head next. And I'll switch them over, blend this in as well. Should look up just a little bit, and we'll take this first guideline just almost about an inch, I would say, maybe a little under. Have you always had a beard, or is that something that you have done recently?
I always had a beard. It wasn't as thick as it is as now. But you know, as I was looking at my corners every day, I'm like, man, if I end up going bald, I gotta have something to offset it.
That's what I always recommend. I'm like, you better hope you can grow a gnarly beard if you don't have any hair.
Or at least a mustache.
Something, right? Something to help you feel better.
What do you think is the differentiator between haircuts? My man did it in at other barbershops. We won't say specifically, but like in Pflugerville. Versus what your approach here?
I mean, it's hard for me to say just because like I can't, you know, sit here and, you know, talk about other barbers' work when I don't see it firsthand. I'll just say it just comes down to preference. I think people can kind of feel what kind of quality they want on their head, or like, you know, or specifically looking for in the outcome. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say there's anything different. I think, you know, there's just different steps. Like, there's no one way to skin a cat. So I think he just kind of knows. Like, and then we also, you know, have a mutual friend in common, and I feel things just like feel right. We clicked, you know, stuff like that. I think that matters a lot more sometimes, more than the cut as well. But for me, I'm very, I take an hour each client, and I kind of take my time with the things that I'm doing, and like I like to pay attention to detail, you know, things that I do, and you know, that could just be the service some people are looking for. While, you know, there's other barbers that do things a lot faster, and I'm not saying they do them with less quality, but you know, some people kind of want to come and sit down and be able to just like chill for an hour and like know that they're going to be, you know, taken care of and aren't into, you know, the rush thing. And some people have schedules that they got to uphold, and they need a 30 to 45-minute haircut, you know, beard and hair. So, but you know, I don't know. I know people that cut really good hair out in Pflugerville, so I can't say that it's just a Pflugerville thing or a Kyle or Buda thing or anything. I think it's just like, you know, when you find the barbershop you want to be at. Where I think the atmosphere has a lot to do with like certain things too, where there might be more people that want to be more at like a younger kind of vibrant shop, and like the energy's like super crazy and it's loud and hectic and stuff. And you know, I've been to those barbershops before, and at one point in my life that's where I wanted to be cut at. I know as like I get older, I'm more of like, I want to come in and like, you know, just be calm and kind of hang out and still listen to good music and have fun, but it's not so much of like a, you know, the young atmosphere. So I think that has a lot to do with like how we run this place too as well, where we're all very professional and take our customer service seriously. And I think that has a lot to do with the reason like people would choose us over, you know, other barbershops as well. Where like, you know, the youngest guy here is Jesse, but like he looks 40, so. And then we're just gonna blend this bottom line out, and then we'll move on to the next once we bring this down. How was the transition? Because you came from, you said St. Louis, was it?
Memphis.
Memphis, there we go.
Yeah.
What was that transition like as far as like going from getting haircuts there to coming to Austin? Well, I guess you went to San Antonio, huh?
Yeah, so it was, you know, like coming from Memphis, you basically, you know, I had a barber since I was a kid. So I went to him every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, and I knew the kind of cut that I was going to get. You know, I just walk in, you know, greet everybody, sit down. They already knew what cut I wanted because I was there so much.
Yeah.
And then I moved to Houston, and it was like, you know, let me find who do I want to cut it. And then once I found that person, it was like, you know, same thing. But coming to Austin, it was like, you know, wasn't there many black people, so it's like, where do I get, who do I ask, where do I go? Do I even get cuts here? So the transition was more about finding who had hair that kind of looked like mine, or who get cuts. And it just, man, it took forever. But ever since, you know, playing basketball and I met Diggs, I was like, okay, this is definitely a place I just gotta go, because it's like, you know, the consistency, how the shop is ran, it's great music. It's like family oriented. You know, everyone comes and, you know, talk, and it just feels like home.
Yeah, no, that's good. I'm glad we can offer that to you and make you feel that way. I think that's our, you know, approach as far as just you know, what Beardbrand and us as individuals want to represent is, you know, we want to create a community as well as like have a shop where, you know, it feels like a spot for, you know, men to come and like shoot the shit and have fun, but it's also like, you know, we have plenty of women that come here for haircuts, and we try and make them feel comfortable and welcome and have a space for them to kind of like chill out and do their thing as well. Like it really isn't just one type of genre of people or anything that come here, and I think that what makes us so diverse, and know that everybody can get taken care of. Like we all have something for somebody. I've definitely, you know, I'm born and raised here, and I grew up going to a black barbershop as well. And you know, when I first ventured out, I remember being super nervous about like, man, I hope this person can fade. But that's the cool thing about barbering now in this generation as well is, you know, they've evolved and can do a lot more than just fade hair. And, you know, there's great artists out there that can do color, long hair, enhancements, non-enhancements, like whatever you want, there's a barber out there for it. So with Jamarius's texture, it's obviously, it's very dense, very dark. Takes a lot of passes to, you know, get the shade that I'm looking for whenever I put a certain guideline in. And it's a good amount of work, that's for sure. I would say the approach for him is like, I'm not afraid to go higher on his hair because it's gonna take more of a blend in order to like get all these dark points out, and, you know, more of an aggressive transition compared to somebody with a lot lighter hair that I might do, or less, you know, curly. It's probably gonna be a little bit just easier on the passes and a lot more just like sensitive of what I'm doing. But yeah, he's got great hair, great density, and I mean, it essentially blends itself out. Like I'm not gonna say like it's hard work or anything like that, but like, you know, it takes a good amount of like strokes to get exactly like what I'm looking for. But once I do get, you know, the blend that I'm looking for, it all kind of just comes together in a nice way. But he definitely has like super dense hair on the side. Where I know the first time we gave him like a super high skin fade, he was coming from a low taper, and essentially didn't take it as high as I wanted to, just because I was like more afraid of like, you know, I want to see what it does, because some hair can be deceiving and look like it's super dense, and you go in there and take it higher than what you want to, and it's just like not turning out how you would, or how you envisioned for that haircut to turn out. But I mean, he's got great hair, but it's just like I said, it just takes work. Like we're definitely gonna have to like go in here and not afraid to like be aggressive with the blend, but also like we're probably gonna have to go with the grain down to kind of smooth some things out at one point as well. And then his top, we just kind of just bring down with the grain. And like I said, we're kind of, we go low. He wants to go low, but like we definitely got to like make sure that we're being very aware of like his corners right here. We don't want to go too low. We kind of like bring that in, but like we're trying to like bring like this transition around his head to make everything look like one length there, so we can get like a nice edge up on him. I think that was your biggest thing, right? When you first came to me, was like make sure, like, obviously it's like don't push my edge up back. Like I want one, but you know, be mindful of like what you're doing there, because like I could easily just go in there and fucking make it look super crispy today and push it back, but like he's gonna hate himself, you know, 3 or 4 days from now when it starts growing in. It's essentially like, you know, a beard line. Like obviously you got to make a beard look real crispy and like push that line up, but like, you know, once all this starts growing back 3 days after your haircut, you're like, damn, I need another beard trim, and you don't really like it. So that's the same thing with edge ups. Do you use any product on your hair or anything like that?
No, just like the do grow oil or some coconut oil.
Kind of give it a little moisture.
Give it a little shine, a little something.
Yeah. We're definitely gonna hook you up with some styling paste today,
okay,
which I think does well in like any genre of hair, and it can like help you with just like keeping those flyaways, like any like, you know, waves that may stick up or anything like that. You can throw this in your hair and just like comb it with it, and it'll give it the right nutrients and moisture and stuff, and just help your hair, just in case you want anything on the go that's maybe a little bit more of a hold than just like some coconut oil or something, but it's still going to be very natural, like coconut oil. Like I think it has coconut oil in it or something.
Okay.
Yeah, the utility balm?
Yeah.
It's got mango seed butter, coconut butter.
Ooh.
It's got all the good stuff.
What about like washing and conditioning? How often do you wash and condition your hair?
I wash at least once a week, once or twice. But condition it maybe 3 times a week.
Okay.
I try to use more condition instead of shampoo.
Yeah, I mean, you got it down, man. That's what I always recommend people to do, that's for sure. It's like, I mean, if you need a wash. Don't be afraid to wash your hair. It's more of like, you can't forget the most important part, which is the condition. You always got to make sure like you're replenishing if you're stripping away. So that's good that you're on the conditioning tip, because it's definitely how you keep your hair healthy.
Got to. I'm at that age it could leave me any day.
How would you feel if that happened? Would you go like, would you get rid of it right off bat, like, or would you just kind of transition out of like,
I feel like if I was like
having the George Jefferson on top?
If I was like 6 feet something, maybe slowly. But at this height, man, everyone's hovering over and looking immediately.
You wouldn't do the LeBron?
I'm out of there. I wouldn't even do the Tory Lane treatment. I'm done.
And then I'm just gonna work right here still. I just see still a little bit of a line in this area. As you can tell, like this right side's a little bit harder to blend as far as like the density of his hair. So, and it's just going with that pattern. Like you can tell, like instead of his hair growing straight down, it's kind of growing back. this way. So, you know, we just want to go against that pattern to kind of wipe away that darkness right there. Or like that's how people's hair is, man. Nobody's hair is perfect, and there's always different hair patterns throughout the head. Just because like your left side grows forward doesn't mean your right side is going to grow forward or backwards or to the left or to whatever it is. I'm gonna bring his hair down first, and then we'll start kind of getting with them. I'm gonna start with a 1.5 guard and just kind of go with the grain down to kind of bring all that down. And like I said, we want to go with the grain and like the hair pattern. Like I wouldn't go this way on this part. Like I want to go with the wave and the way the hair is going. So we're not creating any lighter spots either. Like when you go against the grain or against the hair pattern, you can kind of like create like lighter and darker spots within the head, and it might not look exactly how you want it to. And like, you know, this isn't taking the line away in his head or anything like that. It's just like lightening things up, and it's gonna make it easier for us to take that line out. But I think I'm gonna go lower on this hair, because like this isn't even cutting that much, and I think it's been like, what, 3 weeks since the last time I saw you? 2 weeks?
I think 3 weeks now.
Yeah, so, you know, we want a little bit more length to come off top. But you can tell, like, this is getting it low, but like, still, he still has those waves in his head. Like, we're not wiping them off. If I were to go against the grain, like on his head with this, like all the waves are gone. And then we might create a little bit more of a problem for him in those corner areas if we were to do that. But like, even though I know I'm gonna go shorter, I still wanna follow through with this 1.5 guard and still just like make sure that everything is gonna be on an even playing field. But I mean, you can hear it, it's cutting something, but it's not as low as we would like it to be. I'm gonna get that 1 guard, but I'm gonna close it halfway. Now that's taking it as low as I want. I think that's a good lowness. Where it's almost, obviously it's not taking that line out, but it's getting rid of a lot of it. Where it's gonna be a lot easier for me to pass through there and get that out. And you can tell it kind of brought that almost to an even length right there. Like that's what we're looking for in those corners. Like, yes, it's gonna be still a little lighter in that corner, but we wanna bring it as close as we can with it. Like we're working with that pattern of the hair, so we gotta go this way, to the right a little bit. It's funny, I got Joey coming in next too. Yeah, I'm just gonna check that in the mirror. Looking how I want it to. And the same thing with this side. We just kind of want to bring this part down a bit. Let's start with the longest. Like I said, I can't hear it cutting anything, so I know it's just kind of just smoothing it out a bit, but we're not taking too much bulk away. And we're just going to work into that until we bring everything down even and get rid of that darkness. I like to work my way down. It just helps you without, you know, obviously we're giving them a high fade, but it's not gonna, you know, it's kind of preventing us from like going too high by working your way down. You know where your guidelines are at. What made you pick Austin? Was it just strictly work that brought you out here?
From strictly work. I think like I drove out here once to go with South by Southwest, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. But other than that, I was like, I don't know if I see myself moving here.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I made that statement, like a month later, got a job here. And I was like,
Were there other options at the time, or was it just Austin?
Actually, there actually weren't any other options. I had a job in Houston that it ended up falling through. So it was kind of like, let me get back on the market and see what else is there. And then everything just led to Austin. So
Yeah, I will say, like, regardless of, like, you know, what kind of culture you want to be a part of or, like, what kind of things you're into, like, Austin does have a lot to offer, but it's also, like, I would say the main thing that brings people here is it's just fruitful. Like, I think everybody is doing pretty well here that lives in Austin. Like, there really isn't too much of, like, you know, there's always going to be, you know, people going through shit, but I think, like, majority, if you run a business out here, you're doing very well.
for sure.
And we're just working this last line right here. And then once we smooth that out, we'll move on to the edge up and then his beard and get him out of here. All right, for his edge up, I just like to comb everything forward as much as I can just to get it to lay down a bit. But like I said, we're not going too far in. I mean, you can kind of see the line I've already created on it that's still there from last time, which is a good thing. Like, I don't want to have to recreate anything that, you know, it's growing in more on the natural side than it is, you know, it's coming in on his actual hairline compared to it being too far back and too crispy. Just follow everything on this side. Like I said, it's not taking me too much like time to put this edge up in because I've already kind of distinguished where like I set his edge up and it's not growing anywhere like, you know, past the hairline that's naturally there. So that's what makes it a little easier on your clients as far as like finding their edge up and making sure that it's consistent every time, is making sure you're not pushing those lines there so you don't have to create one. When you have to start creating edge ups is when it gets fucked up. And you want this hair a little shorter here just because you want it to be able to blend all the way through. So it's like a nice transition into the beard, but also that's how you can see that crispy line is when the hair is a little shorter. The beard he does want crispy. That's the thing that like we want to pop. So especially because he's got, you know, lighter sections in his beard than certain parts. So we're kind of just like visually playing with it. The half, we just have that one, so we're going with this half and blend the rest of this in right here. No, it's just working with your guards. One, then a half, then open and close, like it's nothing crazy. Open. Kind of play with that top line a little bit. And then I'm gonna use this 1.5 with the grain, and I'm gonna work this bottom part of the beard and smooth that out a bit. That's what I'm looking for. The same thing, his beard doesn't grow far back like other people's. Like it's pretty much like on the natural line of where I want it to be. I don't want to push it too forward to create, you know, this crazy line on his beard. I still want it to grow back in natural, so it's just a very natural edge up behind the jawline right here. And then same here on the cheek line. It doesn't have very much density in these parts, so like I want to lower it a bit, but still keep it as high as I can. And I don't like to go too far in when I do this line. My razor is going to take care of the rest. I'm just creating that shape of like the angle and the curve that I want to see, and then I'll refine it with my razor. And then that gives you just a little bit of wiggle room if you want to drop it a little lower compared to going too low with the clipper. and then you have this crazy fucking, you know, almost chin strappy, you know, beard line that you have on somebody because you've gone too low already. Always like to look in the mirror. And you can keep it regular now. You don't have to lower it. Brush everything down so it comes over the lip line a bit, and you can kind of see where you'll start your guideline. For me, I feel like, personally, a clean lip line and underneath the neck is what makes the beard pop the most. But that's just my opinion. And these are those moments I like a lot too in the barbershop, is when you have clients that, you know, can just sit back and relax, and there's conversation that sometimes just doesn't need to be had. It's just, I'm working, he's relaxing, probably has a lot of work to do today, and you know, this is his time to kind of zone out and, you know, get away from all that, or maybe visualize his day and, you know, see how he's going to approach it and attack it. And this is my time to really get in the zone and concentrate on what I'm doing. Because me personally, I work best when I get to kind of be quiet a little bit and get more in my head and like, you know, kind of break down these math problems that I'm doing right now, is what I like to call them. I think we need to normalize quietness sometimes. I don't think it needs to be like an awkward or scary thing. And so we're just gonna work this with the grain like we did the last side. Just want to lighten it up a bit, nothing crazy. I just all want it to look even and blended. And the same thing, like I said, behind his jawline, nothing crazy, just a natural shape. He definitely has a weaker right here in this area than his other side, so you know, the angle might be a little different, but you know, visually it's all gonna look the same. But you know, we gotta kind of have to play with his beard right here, because we want to create a dominant like jawline and everything, but we also don't want to, you know, cut too far in just because there is no hair there to make up for, you know, the crispiness of the line. And then his neckline, he likes natural too. He doesn't like it pushed too high or anything crazy that, like, you know, since he's gonna be out of town, I'm sure he's gonna like hit his neck while, you know, he may have to go out to dinner or like, you know, plans with people and stuff. So I don't want to create something he can't recreate at home as well. And he has a light spot right here underneath the chin as well, so I don't want to cut into that either. We're just gonna have to, you know, it's just one of those things where like everybody has like certain imperfections on things, and like you just gotta learn to kind of enhance them the best you can, and then that's all you can do past that point. All right, you can sit up.
Whoa.
Do a little bit of Old Money utility balm for his hair. And then we got some utility oil as well. We don't want to use too much. Just a little bit. And this is the stuff I was telling you about that's like super natural, and it'll just give your hair a little shine. Just like help hold everything down. And we'll do a little bit of Old Money balm as well. And we're gonna just put this in his beard.